Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the potential that Ninjago Crystalized has to be the grandest and most satisfying finale across all of Ninjago. The upcoming episodes of Ninjago Crystalized will obviously conclude the entire Crystalized season as we know it, but also, according to what was said during LegoCon, it seems like Crystalized will also end off the entire Ninjago storyline so far. It's not really clear what exactly LEGO meant by this statement, but Ninjago Crystalized does have the potential to end off the entire Ninjago story that was started way back in 2011 by the pilots. While we know that Ninjago Crystalized will not end the entire brand, as we have Ninjago content confirmed for 2023, there's a lot of stuff going on in Ninjago Crystalized that is borrowed from previous Ninjago finales, so to speak. And in today's video, I want to discuss what Ninjago Crystalized is using from previous seasons to be this grand finale. I'm referring to seasons that had the potential to be the end of the entire Ninjago story, specifically Ninjago Season 2, Legacy of the Green Ninja, and Ninjago Season 10, March of the Oni. Starting with Ninjago Season 2, Legacy of the Green Ninja, there's a lot going on in Crystalized that was obviously borrowed from that season, and in case you guys didn't know, Season 2 was originally going to be the ending of all of Ninjago. After the final battle with the Overlord, Ninjago was originally ended, until it was brought back the following year for Ninjago Rebooted. But in terms of Crystalized, yes, it definitely does borrow a lot from Ninjago Season 2. This is especially true in regard to the Overlord, who in fact returns in Ninjago Crystalized in some capacity. The big rumor right now is that the Overlord is in fact the Crystal King, and while that's not 100% confirmed, it's very likely. In my own opinion, the Overlord returning is a fantastic idea, because the Overlord in the context of Season 2 was the final boss, being the evil counterpart to the first Spinjitzu Master, and being responsible for a lot of Ninjago's historical context. A great way that Crystalized brings things full circle is by having the Overlord be the main bad guy. And while the Crystal King is not necessarily confirmed to be the Overlord, it is very, very likely. In fact, it's almost certain that the Crystal King will in fact be a new form of the Overlord. Also, in terms of Crystalized borrowing ideas from Season 2's finale, I need to touch on the idea of this indestructible Vengestone army. The Vengestone army that we see during Ninjago Crystalized is very similar to that of the Stone army from Ninjago Season 2. In the case of the Stone army, they were pretty much indestructible. In the case of the Vengestone army, it's hard to say how the ninja will defeat them. And also, it just kind of makes sense. The Overlord has been collecting Vengestone across several Ninjago seasons thus far, and it's seemingly to build this massive indestructible army, like was the case during Ninjago Season 2, Legacy of the Green Ninja. And finally, we have the presence of the Golden Ninja. In Ninjago Season 2, ultimately the Golden Ninja was Lloyd's final form, and the golden power coming from that form was used to defeat the Overlord. In the case of Ninjago Crystalized, golden power has not been confirmed just yet, but we do have the presence of Golden Oni Lloyd and the Golden Dragon Ninja. Maybe the golden power is going to be dispersed evenly across the entire team this go round, ultimately leading to the entire ninja team teaming up to defeat the Overlord as one collective unit. The Golden Dragon Ninja as a group of 4 could team up with Oni Lloyd in order to defeat the Overlord once and for all, mirroring the final battle of Ninjago Season 2 when Golden Lloyd defeated the Overlord for the very first time. There are several other ideas from Ninjago Crystalized that may have been borrowed from Season 2, but from what I can figure out, the big 3 are the presence of the Overlord, the presence of an indestructible army, and the presence of a Golden Ninja, or in the case of Crystalized, a group of Golden Ninja. In relation to Ninjago March of the Oni, there's also a lot going on here in terms of similarities. In Ninjago Crystalized, we have the presence of the Oni, which is probably the biggest connection that it has to Ninjago Season 10. While the Oni themselves will probably not be appearing in this new season physically, again, their presence is felt through Golden Oni Lloyd, who's going to be a major part of this new Ninjago Crystalized story. According to Garmadon, only the power of the Oni has the potential to defeat the Overlord, meaning that Lloyd has to dig deep inside of himself in order to finally find that Oni power and utilize it for the side of good. We also know, according to the trailer that we saw at LegoCon, that Oni power is going to be extremely devastating. Regardless though, Lloyd needs to unlock his inner Oni, and that is directly taken from the Oni trilogy, specifically Ninjago Season 10, March of the Oni. We're finally going to see Lloyd try to unlock Oni power, and I'm very excited to see how that plays out. We also have Garmadon showing off several new Oni abilities that we had not seen in previous seasons, and Oni Garmadon being here is also a huge callback to Ninjago Season 10, when we first saw Oni Garmadon for the first time. In Ninjago Crystalized, he seems to have unlocked new abilities, some new powers, and he has a brand new look as well, and Garmadon even being here is also a huge callback to Ninjago March of the Oni. In Season 10, we saw the relationship between Garmadon and Lloyd truly blossom after Garmadon's initial resurrection during Season 8, and even though there were some aspects of their relationship that were not perfect, they still managed to be a good team, and ultimately fought for the same side. Lloyd and Garmadon being a team again is very reminiscent of Ninjago March of the Oni, so I figured it was worth mentioning in today's video. It's hard to deny those similarities once you start to look into things. Also, for a final thing that relates to the Oni trilogy, Ninjago Crystalized has a bunch of Oni trilogy characters returning as well. We already discussed how Lloyd and Garmadon are back and sporting powers of the Oni, Oni, but also we have characters like Harumi and Mr. E, now being called Mr. F, popping up in this new Ninjago season, tying things into the Oni trilogy even more. We also have the possibility of the Oni Temple showing up and possibly being a place of refuge for the Overlord or the Crystal King. Again, how the Overlord and the Oni tie into each other we have yet to see. But regardless, despite Ninjago Crystalized borrowing a lot from Ninjago March of the Oni, there's also a lot here borrowed from the entire Oni trilogy. Almost enough to suggest that Ninjago Crystalized is not only a sequel to all of the Wildbrain era stuff, but it's also a direct sequel to the Oni trilogy as well. There's a lot of similarities to Ninjago Sons of Garmadon and Ninjago Hunted, in addition to Ninjago March of the Oni. And for a lot of Ninjago fans, Ninjago Crystalized could very well be an improved version of Ninjago March of the Oni. For those fans that thought Ninjago March of the Oni was not a good entry into the Ninjago series, Ninjago Crystalized may act as a good alternative. A conclusion to the Oni trilogy that might be more of a payoff than Ninjago March of the Oni. I'm not of the opinion that Ninjago March of the Oni is a bad season, but I know for a lot of people it's the weakest entry of the Oni trilogy. And that's a good segue into me giving my thoughts on this entire situation. I feel like Ninjago Crystalized borrowing a lot from Ninjago Legacy of the Green Ninja and Ninjago March of the Oni is a fantastic idea. A lot of people have issues with Ninjago Season 2, Ninjago Season 10, or maybe even both. And to both of those sides, this new season might feel like a huge step up and a huge improvement over the stories that we got in those respective seasons. Again, Ninjago Crystalized seems to be taking what worked about those finales and expanding those ideas to create something that feels like this grand epic finale that could span the entirety of Ninjago and be the ending to everything that we saw before. When LEGO says that Ninjago Crystalized is going to be the ending of this current story, I feel like this is what they mean. I feel like Ninjago Crystalized will be the ending that Ninjago fans truly deserve, even if it's not going to be the ending of the entire series as we know it. It's going to conclude a lot of what we know about Ninjago as of right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other ideas are going to be borrowed from previous seasons. The season has a lot to offer in terms of content, and I imagine that Ninjago Crystalized, when it's all said and done, will have something for everybody. Ninjago understanding its faults and improving things for the future is a fantastic idea in my opinion, and I for one cannot wait to see how Ninjago Crystalized wraps up the entire Ninjago story, or whatever it's trying to wrap up. And with that being said guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for my thoughts here today. Be sure to leave a comment down below discussing what you think about Ninjago Crystalized borrowing certain ideas from other Ninjago finales, and do you think improving on those ideas and making a grand finale was the right way for Ninjago Crystalized to craft its narrative? All opinions are welcome, so feel free to share yours down below in the comment section. With that being said guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave all your thoughts down below. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again later. Peace.